Welcome back to Pink Turtle Soaps. For today's video, I'm making a soap that's a very bright fragrance, very sunny, very fresh. It's one of those fragrances I like to call very universal. It would be flattering for anyone, whether you're a grown adult or a child. This fragrance will be perfect for anybody. I can't remember all the fragrance notes off the top of my head, so I will put those up on screen for you, but it's a lovely fragrance. I've actually already combined my lye water into my oils, so we're ready just to hop on into the soap making. So my idea for the design, I'm trying to achieve sort of like a mountain range look, and I want for it to look like an early sunrise scene. So basically this first part, we will be working on the mountain range. If I sound out of breath, it's because I am. I am very large pregnant right now. So I do apologize if I'm huffing and puffing in this video. As you saw, I just split off a little bit of my soap batch. And I'm going to pour some of this one into a smaller container here. For this larger bowl over here, I'm going to use dark navy from Nurture Soap. It is navy, but in the cured soap, it does tend to go a little bit gray. Into the smaller cup here, I'm going to add some purple vibrance, also from Nurture Soap. All of these colorants are from Nurture Soap. I'm going to grab the stick blender and blend these in really quick. Okay, I used my stick blender just long enough to get that colorant nice and mixed in. I'm still going to take my spatula here and scrape it off the side. Now I'm just going to add the fragrance oil. I've never used this fragrance oil before, so I don't know how it's going to perform. So I'm going to add it really quick. Okay, so there is definitely a citrus note coming through now. Sort of like an orange or a tangerine. I'll have to look at the fragrance notes to see exactly what's in it, but there's definitely something citrus in here and it's awesome. I am going to use my stick blender for just a few seconds. I want for these to be a little bit thicker than they are right now, so I'm going to do that really quick. Okay, so my next step is to do an in the pot swirl. So I'm going to take this purple here and swirl it in with the blue. About like that. I'll go ahead and scrape out this purple container here because I'm not going to use the purple anymore in the soap. Okay, so now I'm going to go grab the mold and we'll start pouring this in. So the whole point of doing the in the pot swirl is it creates a beautiful marble look, and that's really what I'm going for this layer here. So now I'm going to scrape out this bowl. Doesn't really matter if these colors muddy up just because of the shades that they are. I don't think you're really going to notice if they blend together. But I did want for the purple to stay a bit separated from the blue here in this swirl. But I didn't want to do a drop swirl. I really wanted for a marble look. So now all I have to do is just wait for it to thicken up so that I can sculpt it and try to make shapes like a mountain range. I'm just going to use a paper towel here to wipe off the sides. I did spill some soap there on the side of the mold. Okay, so I'm going to wait probably about 5 minutes, and when I come back I'll show you the sculpting part. It's been about 5 minutes or so. It is thick enough to start shaping it. So that's what I'm going to do with this little spatula here. I don't want to mix it up too much here on the top, but I do want to make it very uneven. I want it to look like mountain peaks, so that's what I'm going to do really quick. Okay, so hopefully I made the valleys deep enough that when I cut the bar, you'll really be able to see the shape take place. This still has to thicken up a little bit more before it can support the next layer of soap. So I'm going to move it off to the side and I'll get started on the next step. Alright, so this next step is basically the same as what I just did, but with two different colors this time. I am going to go ahead and pour all of this soap here into this white bucket just so I can get rid of this larger container here. My soap batter has thickened up quite a bit, but the longer you let your soap batter sit, the thicker it's going to be when you work with it. So you do have to take that into account when you're creating like soap designs and stuff. Okay, so just like that first step, I'm going to pour off a little bit into a different container. About that much. So for this larger one here, we are using Mimosa Yellow. I thought this would give a wonderful sunrise yellow. It's a little bit darker than Yellow Vibrance in my opinion, so I think it'll work out great. And then to contrast that yellow, we are going to use some Summer Crush. It's a very pretty pinkish coral color, and I think that'll look lovely marble swirled together, that yellow and the coral. And because I now know how the fragrance oil performs, I'm going to go ahead and add it to the soap now. That way I'm just mixing it all together at once. Okay, so again, we're going to do it in the pot swirl. So I'm going to pour the Summer Crush right into the Mimosa Yellow. So this bottom layer should be fine as long as I pour very slowly. Try my best not to disturb that bottom layer. I'm going to fill up these crevices first. Now I'm going to grab my spatula here. Okay, so here comes a really fun part. I'm going to take some shimmer gold mica in a little tea strainer here, and I'm going to do a mica line on the very top of the soap. Okay, as you can see, the entire top has been dusted with that gold shimmer, or shimmer gold mica. Said it backwards. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to disturb the top a little bit, so hopefully it'll sort of portray like sun rays. That's kind of what I'm going for. Okay, so I didn't do it too much because I didn't want to sort of blend in all the gold and then it wouldn't be as noticeable. So there are peaks of gold just coming through those sort of like that stripe pattern that I did. You can see the gold shining through and I think it looks awesome. So now all I'm going to do is take a paper towel here and clean off the edges a little bit. And then I'm going to spray it down with some rubbing alcohol to help seal everything in. And then I'm going to let it sit for about 24 hours. I'll come back and check it. And if it's ready, we'll cut it up. And I'm a little bit nervous about the mountain range, but fingers crossed that it comes out looking all right. So we're back the next day to cut up the soap. And I can tell you that this fragrance is such a wonderful scent for the morning time. That citrusy orange note is still very prominent, but it's not overpowering. It's very gentle. I love it. We'll go ahead and cut off this first bar here. I'm a little bit nervous to see how the inside looks. Okay, so that's what the inside looks like. And it looks like the soap partially gelled. I don't know if you can see this darker sort of circle here. And then it's lighter on the outside. But you know, it kind of looks like a sun. What do you think? I actually kind of like that. Definitely goes with the whole sunrise feel, I'll tell you that much. And I think the further that we go in, we'll start seeing more realistic looking mountains, but I still think this looks really cool. So here's a better example. You can see right there in the circle, or in the center, there's a circle here where the colors are a lot more vibrant, and then it's a lot lighter up at the top. But I honestly think that with the theme that I was going for, it's fitting, so I'm not disappointed. Ignore that hole there, that's just air pockets where I shaped up the soap. Sometimes that will happen. Bars like this will just go in my oopsie boxes. Okay, so I am just going to go ahead and cut up the rest of this loaf now. to grab yourself a bar. These will be available at pinkturtlesoaps.com May 8th at 8 a.m. I had to wait a little bit longer for some of my supplies to come in, so this soap was made a little bit behind schedule, so it's May 8th, not May 1st. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I upload a new soap making video every single Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.